Greetings to you from wherever you're watching us tonight. Thanks for joining us on the Friday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adeba. Well, fans still basking in the euphoria of that victory over the hosts and, of course, the Elephants of Côte d'Ivoire, and, of course, still enjoying the moment. And, of course, the African Cup of Nations continues. Some interesting results today in the competition. We're here to talk about it. And, of course, we'll also do our best to talk about the English Premier League makes a return and also what's happening here on the domestic scene. That's the outlook of the show. We promise to make it exciting and watch your while. Of course, it's a two-man show. My colleague Austin Okonakman is suited and ready as we take this trip together on the Money Spinning World of Sports.
Sport greetings to you, Yemi, and of course, everyone joining us on the show tonight. Still an action-packed world of sports, and thank God it's Friday. That means we're going into a weekend of sporting action. As you mentioned, the English Premier League will be back. Also, we've got the Afcon that's getting not just Africans talking, but different parts of the world, particularly on different continents, that's got African players competing at the Africa Cup of Nations. And oh my, it's got us talking. We've seen interesting results. Defending champions Senegal are through to the round of 16. Yemi, I tell you, there's still so much yet to come at the Africa Cup of Nations in Côte d'Ivoire.
Yeah, all right, so a lot to talk about. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take a breather, we'll pause, and we go into that segment where all we do is to talk about the African Cup of Nations.
Good to see you again.
All right, welcome back. Interesting things happening at the Cup of Nations. We'll try our best to make it an interesting conversation, make it robust. We're trying to get in a couple of people to, talk about these games and the things happening at the Cup of Nations. But first, let's talk about the results today in Group B. All right, let me bring in one of our guests even as we go on the show. Toby Olubi joins us now. It's been a while. Toby, greetings to you. Thanks for finding our time to be with us on the show tonight.
Thank you so much. Good to see you. I know it's been ages, and I'm glad to be on the show with you to talk football like we always do.
All right, so good to have you join us. Let me go across the screen and, of course, talk about the results from today, and we'll take it from there. Group B results is what we want to talk about. Then we'll also take a look at Group B. Where we're trying to make that happen, let's just let you know, Austin talked about it, Teranga Lions, Senegal qualifying for the next round. Let's also tell you that Cape Verde was actually the first team to seal passage to the round of 16 in a group that has the Pharaohs of Egypt and the Black Stars of Ghana. Between them, you have 11 titles between these two teams, but yet tiny Cape Verde first to secure a place. That is coming off the back of a 3-0 victory over Mozambique. I wouldn't say I'm surprised that they beat Mozambique, but I would say that Cape Verde picking that ticket first, being the first team to do it in the tournament and doing it ahead of Ghana and Egypt says a lot about how far this team have come. All right, Austin, let me get your thoughts while we're waiting to see a confirmation of the results. And of course, Toby will join in as well. But did this surprise you in any way?
No, it doesn't surprise me. I'm the guy who tried to tell you guys, look, football in Africa isn't the same anymore. I've been telling us that in the last 4 years, Cape Verde, they've been saying that they want to chill with the big boys. When they play the big boys, they come all out, they give their best. I think they're ranked 14th in Africa. And I think at the end of this competition, they should get into the top 10 because they're a very decent side. It's a small country, but they're giving big, massive attention to football development, and it's not just with their men, it's also with their women. So I'm not surprised when I saw the way they handled Ghana properly. I knew that, yes, this team, they made business at the Afcon. Mozambique did just enough, but with the forward play, the pressing play of Cape Verde, I knew they would not stand the firepower And that's why that result, came out the way it did. Now, Cape Verde, first team to qualify. Can you believe it? Can you just try to let me understand how a group that's got Egypt and Ghana, Cape Verde, not just got out of that group with 2 wins, they are the first team to qualify for the Afcon. Tells you that our football will keep stunning us. The moment you try to come out and talk about football like you know it, you get stunned, And if you check it, Egypt would have said, oh, thank God they didn't lose to Mozambique in their opening game. And we thought they would do just enough to beat Ghana, and that game ended 2-2. Remember what I told you, Yemi, about starting the Afcon with a draw. Sometimes it's good you even lose, so you don't go and reorganize, scatter everything you thought you knew, and start from the beginning. But when you draw, you know, okay, you were unfortunate. You go again and play another draw. Just gonna start packing, because now it becomes so dicey. You start ordering for calculators from your region, because you will not believe the one, you will not believe the result that the calculator in Cote d'Ivoire will be giving to you. You tell them to import the ones from your country, and then you're trying to do, but then it's too late. When you're playing a competition such as this, win your first game, then go back and see how you can consolidate on that win. And then get on with the competition. So congratulations to Cape Verde. Another team that I would like to see, people have been coming for me when I say this on X. I think Equatorial Guinea has done just enough to show that they can also make it to the round of 16. They did at the last edition. So Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire must really dig deep. For Nigeria, just avoid defeat. Cote d'Ivoire, if they do anyhow, it's going to be Nigeria and Equatorial Guinea that will get out of that group. And I just hope that this competition will continue to give us upsets till we get to the final.
I hope so. And if what we have seen is anything to go by, you shouldn't be predicting results of matches anymore. And on your screen, you could see a confirmation of what I talked about, what Austin talked about. Cape Verde beating Mozambique 3-0. On the strength of that, they are the first team to secure passage to the round of 16. The Teranga Lions follow suit. We'll talk about them later. But there you have it, Cape Verde on the strength of 2 wins. And, of course, after today, getting into the round of 16. All right, Toby, let me get your thoughts on this. We look at this group. Did it come as a surprise to you that Cape Verde is first out of this group?
It's a huge shock to me. It's a huge shock, I must say. Cape Verde, although they're not a bad side, they've been doing well recently. They have this Portuguese flair about them, the way they play. A lot of Portuguese players in there. Look at one of the goal scorers today, Bebe, the former Manchester United player who didn't have a good time in England. He's there scoring goals for Cape Verde. He now represents Cape Verde, not Portugal, that he represented during the earlier stages of his career. He scored probably the goal of the tournament already today against Mozambique. So Cape Verde, they've come to tell Africa that they're not here to play. They're not here to just make up the numbers. They are really here to, have a go at the tournament. It's really interesting. African football is going through a dynamic shift, and we might just see these so-called little teams upset the big boys a lot more. People were blaming the Super Eagles for failing to defeat Equatorial Guinea. Now they've seen that football is no longer the way we used to know it. Football has changed, and Cape Verde, Equatorial Guinea, the likes of these teams, even Guinea themselves, Congo, we saw their game also the other day. These teams are not here to play. These teams are not here to play.
All right. Toby, you said something that Austin has said it quite a few times, and I've argued with him on that. When we begin to say, on the start of these results, is it enough to say that there are no small teams on the African continent anymore on the strength of this result? It would happen once in a while, but is it enough that Nigeria wants to play Mauritania? We have to be afraid because there are no small teams. Are these results enough to come to that conclusion, Toby?
I think it's enough because the new format of the Afcon is now very encompassing. 24 teams, like the usual 16 teams that we all grew up to be used to. it just shows that more teams are now getting the opportunity to play this major tournament, and that means they'll have more games to play in terms of the qualifiers, and if they make it to the tournament, then you see what they can do. Look at what Comoros did at the last edition of the Afcon. They went there just defeating teams, just going and going, playing some very lovely football at that. So it just goes to show that the moment the tournaments get expanded and these little teams have opportunity to play more games, and they can then have the opportunity to upset the big boys, who could be also like a Mexico. So I think if I were the big teams, the big boys, the usual Cameroon, Ghana, the Nigerians, the Egypt, I think if I'm going to play against any of these teams, I'm going out to my full strength squad.
Okay. All right. Let me go to Austin, who has always believed that there's a power shift, something has changed. I'm yet to be convinced, but of course, if the results are anything to go by, yes. But I think in most cases, maybe the big teams don't do enough. That's what is happening.
I thought so too, but no, let's take a look at it again. Take a look at the guys from the Kosafa region, Look at what they're doing. Look at what Namibia did. Look at what Angola did. Yes, people have been saying to me, Austin, it's just the opening round of matches. But no, I gave my analysis that the way you start a competition matters. How in this world would you have thought that the Mambas of Mozambique would have been this close? It took Egypt to win it at the death by penalty. Egypt, Mozambique. You just try to imagine it, and the more you try to imagine it, it stuns you, because it was Egypt that opened scoring, and then Mozambique came back, and then it was quick fire goals. Egypt was now wondering what is happening, and before they knew what was going on, Mozambique hit the bar again, and went on to try to even win it. So I think it's a big shift, and it stems out of the fact that those teams that we call small, they're seeing the need for development. You see, they're not just coming out to play football. They first just want to develop their football, and then it is rubbing off. So we keep saying that when you take, development out of the field, put in the mindset of people, that's what Cape Verde seems to be doing. That's what the Gambia is doing. It's just sort of unfortunate that it started, the way they did against the defending champions, and that's Senegal, where they can beat any big team in Africa on a good day. They just showed Cameroon how to play football, today. Check what Sierra Leone did at the last edition. Even see Tanzania, So I think it's good for African football. I want to see more of this sort of results, because when they do well and they go back home, the only thing that will come to their mind is, let's consolidate, All
right.
So, I don't know. Is it until Gambia wins the Afcon that people will start believing that this shift has come? I think it is here already. When you start seeing the big coaches going to these smaller teams and then also helping to develop their football, then we will understand that no small teams anymore. Or when we see a proper small team, look at Equatorial Guinea. See that first game against Nigeria. It was like Nigeria, you bring in the war, we are going. What was the possession? The possession, I think, was 51 to 49, and they got just one chance and took it. So it means they're playing reactive football, and that's what the small teams are learning from the big teams. So it's really good for African football. It's good for the Afcon, and with this, we will get more African players go to Europe to play football, or their governments and the FA will see the need to develop their league football.
All right, I want the results to continue, but not against Nigeria. After on the line there. All right. Let's talk about what happened today. A lot of people gave this game one of the games anybody would have been looking up to Senegal against Cameroon, the defending champions, against a team that has won this tournament 4 times. But of course, as you can see on your screen, this is the result. The Teranga Lions beat the Indomitable Lions 3-1. And it looked quite easy. That's what is a bit surprising for most people. Toby, let me get your thoughts. Almost everyone I spoke to said Senegal are going to beat Cameroon. And true to what they said, watch this game, they made it look so easy.
Yes. For most of the game, Senegal were very dominant. The quality in the Senegalese team is mind-blowing. You know, this is the quality that most European teams would even want to boast of, because on the bench they had the likes of Ghana Gueye, they had Naby Keita, Cheko Kouyaté, you know, they had Chelsea's Nicholas Jackson. That's on the bench, and the starting 11, you know, Sadio Mane was on one side, this Star. In the midfield, they had the golden boy of African football, Lamine Camara. You can't do without talking about that boy. 2 goals in the first game. He was also impeccable today against indomitable Lions of Cameroon. Also, the Papa Gueye of Olympique Marseille, you know, he was fantastic today as well. So they just got a good quality team. In defense, they've got the experience of Koulibaly and also the former PSG man Abou Diallo. So all over the pitch, there's so much quality in this Senegalese team. I really don't see any team in Africa that can stand toe-to-toe with them, and they really showed it tonight against the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. It was a total battle between the two teams, you know, 2 local coaches, and Alou Cissé and Rigobert Song, you know, 2 Lions, the indomitable Lions and the Teranga Lions. And you can go on and on about the similarity of these 2 teams, but the gulf in quality was too much on the field of play, and Senegal blew them away. 3-1 it ended.
Yeah. Chobi, let's take away the performance of the players and talk about what the coaches did, you know, because there are some section that I would say the Cameroonians were wasteful, and if they're taking their chances, we probably would have seen, you know, a tight game. Was it coaching that made a difference, or you stick to the fact that it's just the quality that we have in the Teranga Lions?
Austin, is the quality of the boys in the Senegalese team. You know, the Cameroonians, you know, they were missing Vincent Aboubakar, who was the highest scorer in the last Afcon with 8 goals. He wasn't there. He's injured. They also missed the Brentford striker in Bueno. You know, these are people that could have swayed the direction of play, you know, easily to the Cameroonians if they were available. But they were missing, and it was obvious in the pitch of play the way the Cameroonians played. Look at their lineup. You can't really see any quality. Andre Onana, who hasn't trained with the team, coming back just a few days ago, conceding 3 goals, same way as been conceding in Manchester. I wonder why they were so bent on having him in the squad. He will still come in to ship in 3 goals in his first game. You know, Onana, I think, is not even the solution to Cameroon's problem right now. I think if they had Vincent Aboubakar and Bueno available, I think they would have looked better. But Castelletto, for me, was a stand-up player for Cameroon. He also scored the only goal of the game when they tried to rally back and try to snatch an equalizer, but they considered the 3rd goal by Sadio Mane, and they lost 3-1.
I thought when it was 2-1, even Kudu had taken his chance, scored that clear chance, convert that header. Maybe it would have been 3-2 Cameroon, and then Senegal will start chasing the game. But I agree with you. I don't blame you as an analyst if you cannot overlook the quality in that Senegalese team. It's overwhelming, actually, when you look at the bench and you see that they were even able to keep about 90% of the squad that won the last Afcon. Fantastic, Yemi. I don't know what we're going to do. I pray for teams that will meet Senegal, but it looks like they're the team to beat.
I mean, they are. I mean, what else can be said? I'm just hoping that probably our paths will not cross until the later stages of the tournament.
Because you need to be the best. You must be
in the later
best.
stages.
I don't know why you're
later stages.
The big teams.
But, well, we don't have much time, but I mean, also before we go on a break, the Super Eagles, I said it earlier, they are basking in the euphoria of that win. Everyone enjoyed it. I mean, and just like you said yesterday, most people who had 1 or 2 things to write down, as far as maybe corrections or mistakes to note, everybody forgot it. Everybody's enjoying it.
I know, and that's the joy of victory. Success has got so many friends. So they did just enough to win this one. Just try to imagine if this had ended in a scoreless draw or a 1-1 draw, everybody would have been squeezing faces. People would be murmuring. Would have been saying Pizarro should just go right after this competition. Oh, Ekong, so useless of a defender. What are we doing with these players, And it's just so good because they beat arguably the best team in the group. And when you get that sort of result, all you need to do is to consolidate. Next stop is Guinea-Bissau. They cannot go from 10 to 2 with their performance. Beat Guinea-Bissau, top the group, and hope to continue to consolidate, with your performance at the competition. There's so much to talk about the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I still want Toby to give his opinion, but let's go on this quick break. When we come back, we'll also get you. What do you think about the Super Eagles? Can they go all the way? We'll talk about it when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Stay. In Channels Television, we're taking a look at the 34th edition of the Africa Cup of Nations taking place in Cote d'Ivoire. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, they're in a good position, not where football fans in Nigeria really want them to be, but it's fairly good. It's just good enough. Right after that win over host country Cote d'Ivoire, the Super Eagles won by a single goal, courtesy of a penalty kick by the captain, William Troost-Ekong. They will be back to the pitch on Monday to take on Guinea-Bissau. We're talking about that win against Cote d'Ivoire, Toby. Toby, let's talk about how important it is for the team to consolidate on that win, particularly give Nigerians A-class performance to say, look, we are really into this.
Austin, first of all, I have to give kudos to the coach, Jose Pastero. To be honest with you, I'm not one of his favorite supporters, but that tactical display yesterday against the Ivorians, the host, we've got to give kudos to the Portuguese. He was spot on tactically. He set the team up quite defensively in a back five, midfield four, and with Osimhen as the lone striker, and the boys interpreted the lineup, the shape perfectly. It was a low block with a mid press, and we hit them on the counter time and time again. If Chukwueze was as usual self, we might have gotten more goals yesterday. But that being said, Austin, I believe do better than we had anticipated going to the tournament. A lot of us didn't give them any chance going to this tournament, but with that display against the host, I feel we can do a lot good in this tournament. Maybe not bring it home, but at least we can go far. Guinea-Bissau shouldn't be the hiccup. I expect him to go back to the usual attacking formation against Guinea-Bissau, who are the working boys of the group, and then get 3 points again against them and then top the group. I think that should be the way forward.
I totally agree. Toby, one or two things about coaching, and when Jose Pizarro was roving with his tactics, because there was a time he changed it again. Kenneth Omero came, he changed it. I was like, this guy is going against the rules of coaching.
Austin, at some point we finished the game with 6 defenders. When Bruno came in, there was Bassi on the pitch, there was Ajayi, there was Cruz, there was online. They just defended for their lives, and there was Osayi Samuel at some point. It was a really good display, I would say. It just showed that he wanted to hold on to the victory, and it worked. We really had a shot on target from the penalty. They had about 3 shots on target. But hey, who cares about the statistics? The most important one is the goal. 1-0 Nigeria.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's the message. That's what people are saying back home. Who cares about the display? These days, it seems results is just everything.
History remembers who wins. That's all. I mean, we've played well on so many occasions that we didn't win. And so for once, I mean, we'll take the win. And just like you said, we'll build on from there. I mean, there's nothing left to be said. It was a good win for Nigeria. Let's listen to, of course, coach of the team, Jose Pizarro, and Victor Osimhen. They're enjoying, as we all are, that victory. And, of course, it's a good mood in the camp of the Super Eagles.
You beat a very good team. Cote d'Ivoire is a very good team. And today you try to put on strategy for block the more power, more capacity this team. I think you block well the Cote d'Ivoire. did a fantastic job, match. You choose a good strategy. Our players follow our strategy.
Not an easy game, of course. We know the Ivorians are going to come strong against us. They've got a lot of quality players from the goalkeeper to the attack. Of course, we came also with the game plan, and we executed. I'm happy about this win. It's a big win for us, and we keep on building on this momentum. This game against Cote d'Ivoire was a big statement game for us. We needed to win. We needed to make a statement in a competition like the Afcon. It was important to start well, to try to get the damage for them. We waited for them in the midfield, making them make a lot of mistakes and all like that.
All right. Well, you listen to Coach Joseph Serra and Victor Osimhen. Out of curiosity, Toby, I know you know one or two things about coaching. That penalty that I was thinking about the captain of the team, Willem Troost Ekong, was a brave call because Victor Osimhen was asked, okay, said was a decision by the coach. It takes a lot of guts to be able to make that call when the goal getter of the team is there, but you ask a defender to step up and take that penalty, knowing fully well if he misses, people will call for your head.
Yes, Yemi. It's not the first time Troost will be taking a penalty for the Eagles, and he has also scored a couple of goals for the Eagles in the past. Penalty is not only about the accuracy, sometimes about the composure. Which player is able to go for it? Which player is able to, take that opportunity? Which player is able to convert it? You might have the accuracy and not have the confidence or the composure, and then still miss. Troost Ekong obviously had the composure. He knew he wanted to go for the goal, and then he struck it down the middle as hard as he could. He was like a rocket, and he went into the goal area. If he was some other players, they might be looking for finesse or placement into the bottom corner, and then lose the ball, but Troost Ekong, he didn't go for any of that. He just struck the ball down the middle, and in situations like that, that is all you need.
All right, I guess we'll leave.
I agree with you. I was telling people, Yemi told me that it seems Willem Troost Ekong saw videos of the late Rashidi Yekini. That's how he goes with his penalty. No nonsense. Bullets of a shot down to the middle. Goalkeeper will definitely pick a spot. Either I'm going left or I'm going right. So just go to the middle with a lot of power, with a lot of strength, and then you're scoring a goal. Before we leave the Super Eagles and get into the woes of the Pharaohs of Egypt, Toby, what was your man of the match in that game between Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire?
Austin is a tough one because everyone along that back five played well, from Lionel to Kavembasi to Semi Ajayi, Troost Ekong, maybe except for Zaidu Sanusi. But for me, it's between Olaino and the Kavembasi, and I think I have to go with Olaino. He was impeccable. He was really good going forward. He was also very good defensively. He kept his head cool throughout the game. The Ivorians tried to poke him at some point to try and get him to get booked, but he just kept his head throughout the game, and for me, it was really good for someone that grew up outside the shores of this country. I think he's really at that.
I know. I said about the Confederation of African Football.
I know for me.
I totally agree. I'm just trying. I've been asking different people just to confirm that it was team effort. Because all the players turned up, but the Confederation of African Football gave it to star boy Victor Osimhen. I thought him winning that penalty was also a brave one. He was running for all the duration of the time he was on the pitch, and he showed that he could actually fight for the team. But it's all good. It's a win for Nigeria. Days, if you see a Ghanaian or someone from Egypt and you say hello to them, they will just frown and tell you, leave me alone. The frustration in Ghana and Egypt right now. And that's why sometimes we must just support our team, because who would have thought that Egypt will be in this sort of situation that they are at the moment? Ghana, no surprises, but Egypt, I don't know football anymore.
I don't. Frustration is everywhere. A lot of trending pictures on social media. I saw a picture of a Ghanaian grandma probably something close to 80, angry, explaining why this should have been done, that should have been done. I mean, we also heard about a fan who had an altercation with the Ghanaian manager. Probably the Ghanaian manager escaped a beating. Maybe, who knows? It's been frustrating. But let's quickly listen to Chris Hilton, the coach of the Black Stars, his take after that 2-2 draw. Some of our colleagues, especially one of them with me in the studio, felt the Black Stars were careless. But we'll talk about that. Toby would give us his thoughts. But here's the manager of the Black Stars sharing his thoughts after the game.
You feel frustrated because in a performance that I think we deserved to win. Mistakes in the game are part of the game, and you hope you make less mistakes than the others. Sometimes teams can make a lot of mistakes, and the opposition don't capitalise on them. Unfortunately, 2 mistakes we made today, the opposition was able to capitalise on them.
All right. Black Stars manager Chris Hilton speaking there. Obviously very disappointed, and now they're on the brink. Just 1 point. You never can tell what could happen. But Toby, 2 questions in one. Talk about Ghana. I'm very sure when Austin takes it, we want you to talk about Egypt. A lot of people feel Cape Verde has opened the portal somehow. I've opened the floodgate for them. Beating Mozambique, and maybe all they have to do is to beat Mozambique. That's on one side. But the frustration of the Ghanaian public and fans with the manager, do you think is warranted?
Well, his appointment initially to me was he had huge question marks. How much of African football did he know? Is he used to this part of the world? Is he used to this kind of players, these conditions? Is he used to this pressure of the demands of African football from governments, from fans? So huge question marks when Houston was employed. But I still don't see it. I don't see any success we can bring into the Ghana national team. That being said, at least he wasn't at fault for the game against Egypt when they were just giving away goals. Like they were Santa Claus, you struggle to score in front of goal, and then you go back to defense, start giving away cheap goals. I think it was really, really bad, really poor from the Ghanaians yesterday against Egypt. Egypt were really very lucky to have scored those goals because Mohamed Kudus, the Western man, was ready to destroy them. He just kept scoring, but unfortunately at the back, the boys were not as tidy, and they just keep giving away cheap goals to allow the Egyptians to come back into the game. Something funny also happened there. There was a player that came on in the second half, Bakari. He gave away the first goal, and unfortunately, but it was quite sad on his own part. Having come into the game after minutes later, he had been pulled out again. The Ghanaians, I hope they can qualify at least as the third best losers if they can get a victory in the game.
It looks like that's the only opportunity for Ghana to stay in this competition, because Egypt will come all out in their last game against Cape Verde to see what they can get out of that. And with Ghana and their recent disappointment, you cannot come out with your full chest and say they're going to beat Mozambique. Because Mozambique, they are also impressive, and they'll be looking at themselves and say, oh, if Comoros can beat Ghana, we can beat Ghana. But at the moment, it's all about Egypt, because they made it to the finals of the last edition. Of course, the expectations were right. They need to do something. They believe that it's about time for their golden generation led by Mohamed Salah to win the Afcon, but it's not happening for Egypt. And so the fans are furious. Let's listen to fans of the Pharaohs of Egypt on the show tonight.
So far, Egypt's performance is not the very good performance. So far, we're so bad. The first game against Mozambique, we were so bad. Also, the first half against Ghana, same as Mozambique. But the second half, I think we were much better than the first 2 games. So until now, we are below average. We are much below average. But I think now against Cape Verde, the third game, we need to be more focused, more powerful on the game, on the field. Also, we will lose Mohamed Salah, you know this. So at the third game, we have to be more focused. We need to win 100%. We need to win.
I think no. Football is team building, team playing, not individual players. So if one is not there, for sure the team can play without any player, no problem.
If we pass Cape Verde, I would be very optimistic. But the next match would be the reference, the baseline. If we pass this one, I think maybe we have a good chance. Inshallah.
I'm at 2010, so now about 14 years. It's our hope and it's our dream here to win the 8th here in Abidjan, and we are here. So it's our dream, and I think we can do it.
That's it, fans of Egypt, speaking on the performance of their team. They want them to bounce back against Cape Verde. Toby, before I let you go, because I just think about oddity all the time and things that will just make me come out here and talk football as an analyst. What if Cape Verde beats Egypt and Mozambique beats Ghana?
It's not impossible. It's not impossible because the Ghanaians have been poor, the Egyptians have been poor as well. That they just don't have it. The Egyptians now they are golden boys.
Okay. All right.
Toby, I must say thank you so much for joining us on the show tonight. We're beginning to have sketchy pictures. Thank you so much for your time, Toby. We'll make our time to bring you on the show again. Thank you.
Glad to be here, Austin. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. That's it, football analyst Toby will be joining us on the show tonight. I mean, more action at the Africa Cup of Nations on Saturday and Sunday. I'm sure you're going to run us through that one.
All right, let's just go across and reel it out. And of course, with that, we will be ending this segment talking about the Afcon. But with regards to matches on Saturday and on Sunday, I'll just quickly go across and read it out. Fixtures for Saturday in Group D. Algeria, after losing their first game, will be up against Burkina Faso, who won their first game with the last kick of the game. Mauritania will be up against Angola. All right, anytime I see Angola, I remember what they did some years back, preventing us from getting to the World Cup. I'm here to forgive them for that. All right, on Sunday, the Atlas Lions of Morocco will be up against DRC, DR Congo, and of course, Zambia will be up against Tanzania. As we say, sports, may the best team win. All the best to these teams as they prepare for their matches. That brings us to the end of the segment on the Africa Cup of Nations. We'll pause. You see us on the other side. All right, so we're done with the African Cup of Nations. We're going to Austin's Tough now. Let's look at the English Premier League fixtures for Saturday and Sunday, and we'll quickly share our thoughts on that. On Saturday, the Gunners return to action after a training tour in the Middle East. They'll be up against Crystal Palace. Brentford will be up against Nottingham Forest. Of course, Nottingham Forest without our own Taiwo Awoniyi. Then on Sunday, English Premier League, Sheffield United will be up against West Ham United. Bournemouth will be up against Liverpool. It's going to be a return for one of the strikers who left Liverpool. Well, Sri Lanka, they call him Solanke. He's going to be back there. I mean, Austin, your thoughts as we read to wrap things up. Your thoughts on this matches? Arsenal, Crystal Palace. Arsenal has been faltering of late.
Yeah, and they need to come out strong in that one against Crystal Palace. Remember, they also struggle a lot against Crystal Palace. Roy Hodgson is already preparing for this game because in that FA Cup fixture. He took off Eberechi Eze, and the fans were booing him. And he said, look, I have a crucial game coming up against Arsenal. They need to win that one, because if you see where Crystal Palace are on the log, I think they are 14th, but they are looking right there at the relegation battle, because if they lose this game and then probably drop points again, they will drop down to the relegation zone. But Arsenal needs to show character. They've rested enough. It's been, I think, 3 losses on the bounce. They need to find a way to get back to winning ways. This is a team that started the year on a high. People were talking about them, that this is the season, and then suddenly, Yemi, things started falling apart. So they need to show character against Crystal Palace. They need to show that they want to win it. And Mikel Arteta has charged this team to say, go out there, win back the love of the fan, and get your campaign back on track. I think they can do it against Crystal Palace.
All right, let's come home now to Nigeria and take a look at the Nigeria Premier League. Let me quickly reel out the matches. Nigeria Premier Football League. On Saturday, Doma United will be against Rivers United. Bendel Insurance will try on Sporting Lagos for size. Kwara United up against Sunshine Stars. These matches will be played on Saturday. Let's flip quickly and take a look at the remaining matches. Gombe United will be up against Bayelsa United. Aqua United up against Enugu Rangers. Kano Pillars will take on Heartland. Lobby Stars will take on Plateau United. These are the matches to be played. Other matches yet still. You have, of course, Niger Tornadoes will be up against Casino United. Remo Stars up against Abia Warriors. And, of course, I mean, for personal reasons, you might accuse me of bias. I'd love to see Shooting Stars up against Eimba International, as the Aba Elephants. Austin, we have just about a minute to go. Your pick of the bunch in these matches.
Yeah, quite a number of them. You know, I talked about Plateau United the last time, right after they played Rivers United. I said, that's the team to look at. Then they went on to beat Eimba, and now they are third on the log. So can they show more character to keep winning in the league when they take on high-flying Lobby Stars? Lobby Stars are on top of the table with 33 points. That's a team also that have shown that they can play football. There's a team that have shown that they can chill with the big boys and see if they can go on to win the league. I think they went away to Kwara United, and they got a vital win on the road, and since then they've been consolidating on that win. So Lobby Stars Plateau United, for me, is one fixture that will actually show us the good side of league football in Nigeria, because it will be competitive. I'd love to see how Doma United will flex muscles against Rivers United. That's a fixture I want to see. Rivers United aren't particularly good travelers in the league, but when they need to get the result, when they need to show supremacy, they actually go out there and play good football. But with Doma United and everything that they've shown this season, they've not dropped out of the top 4 in the last 2 months or since the league started. So that's a team with character. That's a team showing that they can be decent. I'd like to see also 3SC Eimba. Shooting Stars Eimba, anytime, any day, is fantastic for league football development in Nigeria. And this one happening in Ibadan. I just hope that the fans will come out. Shooting Stars will play their best football. And hey, as you say, in our world of sports, let the best team win. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakwa, and in everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, it's a wrap here in Lagos, of course, and we hope you enjoy your weekend. We'll be back again next week to take you on a trip across the money-spinning world of sports. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.